Welcome to Adventures of a Fat Man. Last time we explored Lesbos. This time we're going to Chios, Syros and Paros. Here we are. It's the little kitchenette. And then in here, I assume there's a bathroom. Okay. Here's the front door, but something that they do here, which you don't see in other places, is that the door is a window.
So, you know, this is a very large castle and wall sort of city. They say it's a city within a castle within a city. But you think how thick can the walls be, but you come down and have a look at this. And then you can see the switchback as well. So people just going to walk through. And that's going to be 50 feet, maybe a bit more.
That's pretty cool.
It's still inside the wall. And the switchback, and now we're coming outside the wall through the mud. You've got to give PJ the props that she deserves. She found there's a maritime museum. However, she found out it closes at 1 o'clock and we got here at like 10 to 1. So anyway, we're just wandering around the yard. But it's in the town, it's nowhere near the water. Oh, periscope.
What have you found?
The things you find lying around, there's a little attack periscope here lying on the ground.
USN BU something something something.
It's a complete mystery to me why I'm not losing weight. If you look at this is all health food.
Chios doesn't have the charm of some of the other destinations we visited, so we didn't stay long. We did ride south along the coast past the airport, but it wasn't an ideal ride. We're definitely looking forward to the next place. We wouldn't be keen to recommend this town if you're interested in cycling specifically. Good morning! Today we are heading to Syros, leaving from Chios. Map is here, and there is our ferry. Oh, there it is. The waterfront comes alive when the ferry arrives. You can really see how these ferries are the lifeblood of these islands. Freight, people, lovers, there's everything happening down at the port. The ferries themselves have been excellent, and this Blue Star ferry was no different. We found that there's some really interesting options for seating. If you're a remote worker, there's table and chairs. The great thing about the ferry is the view. You have a fantastic vantage point as you travel through the Greek islands. And also, most of them have food available on board, which makes a big difference. Although we always pack snacks because that's how we roll. Don't be frightened of seasickness when you're traveling around the Greek islands. We experienced really normal days, and you can see it's flat, it's calm, and it's really, really comfortable. If you can see the mountains behind me, you'll see why I wasn't keen for us to come cycling on this island. See, here we started in Chios and we're finishing in Syros, but there are many other stops on the way through if you wanted to expand your trip.
Head down the highway side, cold wind but it feels right. With you I'm heavy breathing, feels like I'm lucid dreaming. I'm not usually the type to rush into the night.
This is Mykonos, and as you can see, it's also very, very hilly. Not very good for cycling. We are continuing through to the next stop, which is Syros.
In the middle of July, I'll fall into the deep end, giving into my feelings.
Syros is fantastic.
I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow, but I just want more. I'm taking it slow, just go with the flow. I'm taking it slow.
It's hard to find, but one of the hidden gems is this industrial museum. It's incredible what was made here. Charlie actually had one of these.
For a long time. I had one when I was a kid, and then I had one up until about 10 years ago, I had one of these. When I was moving out in my divorce, I gave it to one of my friends at work, but I still used to use it.
And now it's in a museum.
Go down and go to the end of the rudder. So the rudder would be back there somewhere, and that would hold it on. So you have the pintles at the back. Industry, because you're on an island, and it's not a very big one. Okay, we just came from the museum, and there used to be a quite big textile industry here on this island, and we've just come to the local Lidl, which is obviously in an old factory because they've repurposed some of the buildings. And you can see this head machine here. It's very complicated, but you can sort of see what it is. It's got the taper in the middle where you can hang stuff on, and then it's got these guides and followers round, and you can see the pinion gears which would transfer the motive power. And then you can see the attachment on it here. You can see the combs that are down here, and you can also see the hooks and all the stuff up the top. And then if we go to the next one, you can see the fabric bags that they used to make. So this is probably something that used to make bags, you know, and you can see it now where it used to be working. So very ingenious, a mechanical, very ingenious knitting machine.
And it would have been made here, wouldn't it?
No, these were probably brought in, but from overseas or from another place, but they would have been used here to make the bags. Well, that's a hanger. That's a scale.
No.
Catches to hold it in.
We've got scales.
Yeah, probably these scales can't handle the Kraken. And there's a pump.
When there's no hope, loving for you who saw me before I knew who I'd be. What I have around me means nothing to me.
Just to give you some perspective of how tiny some of these fishing boats really are. Look at that compared to the cars, and can you see that fabulous yellow there as well?
Walking through all the dust, memories and frame, a past we simply let fade. But I don't close the door, waiting the chance for one will be back again. You make me feel so crazy, still in love with.
There's the bathroom, and there's the washing machine, and there is one of the cats. No extra charge. And that's the bedroom, which opens out onto the balcony. I'll show you in a minute. And there's the cat again.
You can't really see the oil tanks. That's something.
Charlie's disappointed you can't see the tank farm. Okay, there's a spare bed.
That's one of these.
Come out and you can see a little cat friend on the balcony here. And then there's Charlie. He's had a big ride today. He's very sweaty.
And there's the view.
Yeah.
And there's the kitty cat.
There's another kitten. Doing a runner. So
It's beautiful.
it's Pretty good.
And it's 40 euros a night,
There you
which
go.
is about 60 well, it's 64 Australian dollars a night.
We picked up our bakery goodies and we're eating them down by the water.
Mushroom pie.
Wow.
$2.50 Australian.
Mushroom pie. And I'm challenging Charlie to get in and go for a swim. It's freezing, but why not? There's Charlie. Hello.
Okay, we've both just gone swimming and the water's really nice and warm actually compared to what you think. And the water's clear and beautiful and we're right in the middle of town. So, and there's quite a few people swimming, although PJ won't include them, but like there's quite a few people here. And there's swimming beaches all along the coast and the town is maybe 50 feet that way.
Hello. Wow. And there's a little kid in there. And there's Charlie trying to eat his dinner. There's a little kid in. G'day. Huh? There's a little kid watching you. Look at you. You're a little cutie.
Okay, this boat's on the Sea Jet company and the ladies just told us to come back at 6:30 in the morning. Of course, PJ got us up. We're here at like 5:30 in the morning.
It's amazing. We're arrived for the ferry and there's a fair few cafes open before 6 a.m. So they must be opening at 5 a.m. or 5:30. I'm getting a vegan Freddo cappuccino from this place.
So our boat's coming in behind us. It sounds like it's got a broken bearing. It's all, but it looks fast and it looks mean. So, you know, a very aggressive looking trimaran. And there's a ferry over here. I kind of wish we were on the ferry taking the slow boat because, you know, they're very nice. It's very nice going between the islands. I firmly recommend it as an enjoyable experience. And, you know, it's always dead flat. There's no wave action or anything like that. And the ferries over here, unlike the Spanish ferries, seem to be like luxury. Pure bloody luxury.
And where are we going in luxury today, Charles?
Going to Prados or something like that.
Paros.
Paros.
Yeah.
And then we've got a small ride of like 21 kilometres to the other side of the island where we've got some accommodation.
We are seated in economy class. There's a cool little workshop on the boat. There's Charlie getting ready to disembark. And we're off! Well, I thought we were off, but we had to stop at a bakery for the fat man. I got myself a seedy bread roll and he got himself deliciousness. We headed north from the port to a fishing village with a famous Venetian defensive structure. Can you see the reflections of the water on the wall? It's lovely. Clear water. Inside. Whoa. What do you think?
You can see where all the cannons used to be, so that place out there. And then with the reef out there, it'd be hard to come in and get them. Yeah. So, you know.
Oh, there's a pigeon.
Beautiful, if a bit mucky.
Bit mucky. The Venetian occupation in Paros Island lasted from 1207 until 1537, when the island was taken over by the Ottoman pirate Barbarossa. This small Venetian castle was built to protect the port. The sea walls of the castle today are under the water. The fort and the sunken walls are the only remaining parts of the medieval fortified settlement of Nάουσα. Today there's modern architecture and cafes, including a bakery. The bathroom.
27 euros a night.
This is the village of Lefkes. So if you arrive at the port city and you ride around the island, you'll reach that Venetian castle village at the top, and then continuing around to the east and down the eastern coast brings you to this beautiful place. You'll find an excellent swimming beach, there's a marina, lots of restaurants, and there's a surf shop and boutiques. It's small but really cute.
So these boats are definitely still working. Like, this is definitely a working boat and probably goes out every day. It's in immaculate condition, and I love the mast and the cross yard arm up there, the cross and everything. It's just perfect, and yeah, it's very beamy, and like you can see, the water is so clear and just brilliant. And it's a wooden boat that's been sheathed in fiberglass on the outside, but you can still see all the ribs and everything. It's very lovely. It has a romance of the sea. We're on Paros. We rode like, I don't know, 20 kilometers here yesterday. It was beautiful, like beautiful. You would have seen the footage, but trust me, it was better than the footage. And we're staying in our $35 a night apartment right next to the water. And we're going up to Lefkes now, which has got a 3.5 kilometer Roman road and supposedly very beautiful. And PJ's dreading it because it's all uphill. But we're taking the bikes, and then we're going to walk the 3.5 kilometers and then walk back 3.5 kilometers. And hopefully there'll be a bakery somewhere in this as well. It's all good in the world. It's all good.
Just give me the word, You know I don't play it right. Don't give me this. I'm gonna get back when I feel like.
We're on our way up to that village up there. The hill's quite steep. It's kind of interesting because you can see this land used to be a lot more heavily settled, and there's still the remnants of that time around. So I don't know how well this is going to come out, but if you look, all the mountains here are very heavily terraced, and you can see old roads, some of which seems to be still in use. You see there's quite a substantial stone bridge down there. But you know, none of the terracing is still being used, but it's all still there, and it's quite heavily. It goes up to the top rock band on all the mountains here, and they're all stone terraces. The amount of work must have been amazing. But now it's all just falling into ruin. It's very beautiful ruin, but still ruin.
Feeling like I'm second miss someone that you could forget. Got me drinking that healing, sinking in this feeling. Leave me the time, giving me the signs of life. Making you are clear, but you're gonna leave me in the deep.
The road's very isolated. We've walked in a few kilometres, and you can see it's in kind of good condition, and some of the slabs are massive, you know, and they're all out of marble, and it's a pretty good, probably because it's so isolated and it's just stuck on the side of a mountain, away from any habitation.
Some of the rocks are quite smooth, so this is probably not a trail to do after rain, but it's beautiful.
So there's the bridge that we saw up on the main road, and even the creek itself, the walls have been retained by stones on both sides. You can't really see it from here, but both sides it's retained as far as you can see, and then you have this quite lovely stone bridge. Kind of reminds me about when we were going through Spain, and all the Roman bridges were still standing, and most of them had been in use up until about 10 years ago for vehicle traffic. This one's still in use. There's obviously cars that are still coming down this Roman road. And there's the PJ, she's freed the shirt. She says it's hot. So even though it's October now, it's quite warm. It'll be 30 degrees today. Yeah. Easy.
Check out this olive tree. It's got to be hundreds of years old. It's absolutely huge.
Kraken planned this adventure and then complained bitterly about the ride up the hill, right? So, you know, I said, why didn't we just ride to the village right next door to the village we were in, walk up the hill, and then walk back down? Because all we've done now is ride up the hill, walk down, and then we're walking back up. So we've just, like, you know, doubled or tripled or quadrupled the amount of riding we've done, which I like, but she complained bitterly about it the whole time.
Most people drive up to Lefkes, or walk to this next village, the name is here, and then you catch a bus from that village back up to Lefkes.
As you can see, we left this Lefkes. Took us slightly longer than an hour, but there you can go to the ancient quarries, 3 hours, or you can go to Parka, 3 hours 30.
Enough of the serenity, let's ride. Okay, that's that. There's a bed, and then there's a balcony outside. Whoops. Like Coast Guard Authority. And they've got an anchor and there's a shell.
You know I don't play right. Just give me the word, You know I don't play right. Don't give me this. I'm gonna get back when I feel like. You know I don't play right. I'll put up a good fight. Just give me the word, You know I don't play right. You know I don't play right. Don't give me this. I'm gonna get back when I feel like.
If you're interested in cycling and beautiful architecture and fantastic food and clear water, oh my goodness, Paros, you must visit Paros. It is just lovely. And there's our Charlie, ready to go to Athens.
Not really. I'm not really ready to go. I'd rather stay.
I'm gonna get back when I feel like.
Once again, the Greek ferry system did not let us down. Smooth sailing all the way through to Athens.
You know I don't play right. Just give me the word, You know I don't play right. Don't give me this. I'm gonna get back when I feel like. You know I don't play right. I'll put up a good fight.
So this is our second time in Athens. Last time was in the middle of winter and it was kind of empty. And this time we've gone to go up onto the Pantheon and the lines are just ridiculous. Like, I don't know if you can see behind us. So come to the next hill over, which is just, you can just walk up here, anybody can get up here. And there's nobody here at all. So we're here by ourselves and you can see the Pantheon, you can see all the crowds, and you can see all of Greece stretched out below us from the hills surrounding it to the ocean to the mountains in the background. And we can see all the parks and all the historic attractions, admittedly from a distance.
Next time we're in Australia and we've gone to the top of the Great Dividing Range to discover Toowoomba, only 90 minutes from Brisbane. Thanks for watching. Your views and your comments always make us happy.